I've secured a copy of the new Patriots book, It's Better to Be Feared, ahead of the release on October 12th, and I scoured through some parts and found the specific answers to what the Patriots could have done to keep Tom Brady in New England. I also looked through some of the interviews and sources done for this book, and I can confidently say this stuff is coming straight from the Brady camp. It's either coming out of Tom Brady's mouth, someone in his family, his best friend Alex Guerrero, or a former teammate. So first off, the book makes it clear that Robert Kraft wanted Brady to retire as a Patriot. The problem, of course, was Bill Belichick wanting to go younger at the position, like he does for any other position and any other player. The turning point seemed to come in 2017 after the Patriots win over the Falcons in Super Bowl 51. Tom Brady had his number in mind, and that number was 45. That would not only be his goal for his career, but it was also his business plan. The best way for people to buy into TB12 would be Brady playing until what at the time seemed like an absurd age of 45 years. Despite Brady's lofty goal, Belichick was ready for Jimmy Garoppolo sooner than later. And there was clear evidence for this as Belichick continued to turn down trade offer after trade offer for Garoppolo. Then he shipped out Jacoby Brissett. It was clear what he wanted the team's near future to be. Ironically, Brady won NFL MVP that year, but from my perspective and what the book seems to be hinting at, Belichick took a glass half empty approach as Brady missed more and more practices with shoulder and Achilles injuries. And here's the line I loved. The only contract for a quarterback Belichick seemed to want to discuss was one for Garoppolo. In fact, the Patriots did offer Jimmy G a contract while leaving their Hall of Fame QB out to dry. Belichick and Brady met in October of that year, and it ended in a little blow-up, or what I like to call the beginning of the end. Things got so bad that Brady and Belichick barely spoke for that entire year. Their conversations revolved almost strictly around game planning. Then, here's the big part. The book says if New England had just offered Brady a 5-year contract in 2017, right after the greatest comeback in NFL history, he would have ended his career as a Patriot. Obviously, we're already 4 years past that, and yet again, Brady is an MVP candidate. Of course, now there's talks of him playing until age 50, but who knows how serious that actually is. Back in 2017, though, this was the season, it seems, where Kraft started to really get involved in football matters. Kraft made it clear that Brady was the team's quarterback, and Garoppolo was to be traded. So, as we've heard before, Bill begrudgingly sent his backup QB to the 49ers for a second-round pick. It seems he was doing his buddy Kyle Shanahan a favor and his once heir to the throne a favor as well. According to Belichick's friends, and yes, apparently Belichick has friends, the situation was unsustainable, and when the owner got involved, it was time to go. It seemed Kraft was taking the Brady side, and Belichick could feel it. Kraft also held secret talks with Belichick's second-in-command, Nick Caserio, on who the next head coach of the team should be. Another key part of the story, after Garoppolo won all 5 of his starts in 2017, Kraft admitted to some in the building that maybe the trade was a mistake. I say that's a key part because it goes back to what we talked about yesterday. How confident was Kraft that he was on the right side of the Brady versus Belichick debate? It seems clear to me that he was wavering between the two when he knew that he would have to pick one eventually. And after Garoppolo played so well originally, it seems Kraft swayed back toward Bill. This caused an enormous case of arrogance in the building, and possibly the worst NFL take of all time when one Patriots assistant said, "If you gave us any of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league, we could make the Super Bowl." I have no idea how anyone in the league, let alone a group of people, could become so distant from reality. But let's just say they've eaten humble pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the past year. And also, you see what I mean when I said in the last video that I thought it was a mutual departure in the end, but the reality was that Belichick was at fault. When you hear nonsense like this, how these Patriots coaches viewed Brady, you really start to understand that he wasn't quite being a drama queen when he felt disrespected inside the building. And it really takes me back to how in the world this thing lasted as long as it did. I do still think Kraft deserves a lot of credit for that. Late in the 2017 season, it says, Belichick spoke with various owners and executives about potential openings, which wasn't in itself a new development. Like we've talked about before in this channel, Belichick had previously spoken with the Dolphins, Giants, and Washington football team. Meanwhile, as Belichick considered life outside New England, so was Tom Brady, who told those close to him that he didn't want to play for Belichick anymore. And after the Patriots lost to the Eagles in Super Bowl 52, Brady even told some coaches that he wasn't coming back. The team refused to release Brady, but things started to change. Brady opted to spend more time with his family and skip OTAs. He grew more unhappy as the year rolled on, with no added years on his contract and getting asked continually to take pay cuts, while the team spent the extra money on yet another special teamer. Still, the Patriots won the Super Bowl. That offseason, Kraft granted Brady the right of no franchise tag, and it didn't take long for him to put his house up for sale. After the Titans eliminated the Patriots that year, it began an off-season of speculation. Remember that Syracuse basketball game Brady and Edelman were at? Well, in the book, it says that an undergrad staffer had the chance to talk with Brady, and he was given the advice to not only do what you love, but also to work in a place with people you love. Brady kept repeating the word appreciated. At that point, that undergrad knew better than all of us, better than Kraft and Belichick, better than just about anyone, that Brady was gone. And can we really blame him at this point? Like his father said, they pushed him out the door. And the more I read about it, the more I believe him. In the end, though, Kraft had the chance to step in, and he didn't. At the time, the risk of firing your coach and blowing up the whole program wasn't worth keeping your aging quarterback. But now it appears Brady was the program. I think Kraft regrets it now, but maybe to ease his pain, the damage had already been done and Brady would have left anyway. If a decision was to be made, it would have had to have been made a few years earlier, and nobody is gonna fire a coach coming off Super Bowl wins. Anyway, Brady begins his search for a new team, and you want to know who he reaches out to first? His old buddy Wes Welker, another player who caught the wrath of Belichick late in his career. Brady told Welker that if San Francisco was interested, it would be his choice. The 49ers thought Brady would be an upgrade over Garoppolo, but seemed a little worried about the down year in 2019 to go along with an aging quarterback. It's also been reported previously that Brady would have then joined the Saints, but Drew Brees didn't end up retiring. Pretty funny, because back in 2020 we would have all said, of course, the Niners and Saints had Super Bowl caliber rosters, much better rosters than the Bucs. That's all we've got for today. There's plenty of more details in the book if you're interested. I love talking and reading and sprinkling in my opinion on this stuff. And let's go and enjoy some good football this weekend.